Hey, welcome to another week of the Den Dispatch, where we talk about horror news in under 10 minutes. First thing that we learned from last week was the new Resident Evil that's due to come out in September, starring Austin Abram and being directed by Zach Kruger. Zach, being directed by Zach. Zach did an interview where he stated that there's this scene, you see it in trailers, where zombies are falling from the rooftops and then they kind of explode as they hit cars. He said the way they did that is they had 150-pound blood bags that they were tossing over while the actor was running, and one of them was released too early, and I feel like you can see it in the trailer, but it drops like maybe a foot from him or a few inches from him, and if it would have fell on him, he would have died. So that was something that we learned, which was terrifying. But yeah, I guess they just wanted to do practical effects. They didn't want to do it with CGI. And I guess that's kind of the risk you take. I don't know. That's for a lawyer to decide. But thankfully, everything went well. We got like the trailer for Friday the 13th, or Crystal Lake. And I'm really excited about this because, as you know, I like Jason's mom more than I like Jason, and it feels like it looks like it's picking up like maybe a year after Jason died, but she's just enacting her revenge, and you're slowly seeing how she's gonna lose her mind. I told my wife that if the whole series just follows her and it ends with just seeing like Jason appear at the end, I'd be perfectly fine with it. But I don't know how everybody else feels. Sure, there's like tons of Jason fans that are just waiting to see him, but I like the idea of the prequel, so I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, we got a trailer for Mike Flanagan's Carrie, the series that's gonna drop on Prime, I believe, this fall. It looks good. I feel like it's gonna, I mean, it has to, because it's a series. They should dive more into the story and we should learn more. I haven't read the Carrie books, but from what I'm hearing online is there's a disappointment that they're not depicting Carrie the way that she is in the books. So basically, every adaptation of Carrie has been like Pretty Woman with bad fashion sense. And so Carrie is actually supposed to be overweight, covered with pimples, just like just not attractive, or perceived to be attractive. And the fact that she's overweight is what causes them to use pig's blood versus whatever a normal psychopath would use, I guess. I don't know. But so there's discourse about that. People don't understand why they're so kind of like okay with avoiding the actual depiction of Carrie. I don't know. I do know that if you want a twist on Carrie and just, want to kind of walk away from what you see all the time for Carrie, you can read Tiffany D. Jackson's The Weight of Blood. It's a Carrie retelling based around a town that has segregated proms, and one girl who forever and a day was passing as white, and an incident happens that gets recorded and it gets online, and basically the town's under scrutiny for racism now, and the girl is more of an outcast than she normally is. And then the format of Carrie pretty much falls into place. I really like it because I listened to the audiobook, but I really like it because it's told um, in two formats. So um, it tells the story of what's going on in the town, and then it's told periodically throughout the chapters in the form of like a true crime podcast that the events have already happened and they're trying to figure out what exactly happened. So I love that. I love when writers do that with the two timelines. I should really try that. I think I'm trying it with He Who Prays, kinda, because like there's gonna be portions where um, the past timeline is told through journal entries from the father. So maybe I'm already trying it. Yeah. Anyway, and let's see. Oh, there's reports of a Nightmare on Elm Street remake in the works. Everybody's a little concerned about who's going to play Freddy. People want Robert Englund to come back and play Freddy. I feel like Robert Englund should just, live his life. Like, you can't keep forcing people to come out of retirement to play things. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. Okay, so I liked the Freddy remake or the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I liked it. I don't know why everybody else hated it. Anyway. But we don't have much news on that, but more will probably come out. Definitely not going to get any casting news for a little while. And I think that is all that I have for this Monday. So enjoy your week. Make great choices or make terrible choices that are extremely fun that allows you to tell stories. And I'll catch you next week. Later. Don't forget that for 4 weeks, if you buy the Camp Lanier ebook off of Shop Dead, you get a free ebook. So every week it changes. This is week 2, and you get Youngblood. So Camp Lanier is based on Lake Lanier, where Taylor is convicted of shoplifting, and she gets a chance to work at Camp Lanier instead of going to prison. And she slowly learns about the horrors that happen at Oscarville, the town that's under the lake, and horrors that are currently happening because workers from the work release program are going missing and being labeled as runaways. Youngblood is kind of like a dystopian novel that takes place in New York. There's a virus that breaks out, and a company builds a vaccine. They test it out on New Yorkers, and while it does cure some, 1 out of 10 New Yorkers gets turned into a vampire. So New York is now isolated from the rest of the country because it's overrun with vampires. And Raven and her sister Star have to navigate living in New York, avoiding the foster care system. And when the only person that takes care of them dies, Raven steals her identity and joins the new military task force to eliminate the vampires and, get her and Star a bed. All right. So, yeah. So basically, you get those 2 stories today if you order the ebook off of Shop Dead. There's also signed copies of Youngblood if you just want Youngblood. All right. Later.